Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from guitarlessons365.com. Got a classic from Iron Maiden today. We're learning how to do Flight of Icarus. So this has got some pretty simple, easy rhythms to follow along here, and then some cool solos, a little harmony section too, by Dave Murray and Adrian Smith. So got some stuff to crack into today, but before we do it, please subscribe to the channel, of course, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Support your favorite guitar YouTuber, I don't care who it is. It kind of helped this kind of niche of get smaller niche, it seems like. Is that how you say it? Niche? Whatever. It's small. So let's bring guitar back in the light. Have you noticed the top 100 charts lately? It's not a lot of guitars. So it's up to you guys to change that, not me. I'm already there. Anyway, so now if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube, actually, there's a link in the description to my Guitar Academy. That link is a YouTube only link that'll give you the biggest discount you can get. So it's like a 40% discount on my annual subscription. And if you do that, the special deal, you'll have that subscription price for life. So every year you'll have that exact same price, no matter what the rates go with my Academy or whatever. Academy's a great place to learn. I've got a great community over there. I do live streams every weekend with Academy members. I have all my courses there covering everything from courses for complete beginners to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. You get personalized support from me as well. So please click that link and check it out. Free 7-day trial if you've never had a subscription before. All right, let's jump into this. We're in standard tuning here. And let's start with this little intro, which just kind of starts out with this. So just nothing much going on. So we basically have an A power chord, open A power chord, then the E power chord, and then the F sharp power chord at the second fret of the low E string. And you just kind of this kind of a slow gallop. And so it's kind of palm muted here. So it's like down, down, up, down, down, down. So it does that for a little bit. And then we get to the verse. So the verse, we're gonna just basically first, we had this F sharp power chord. We're gonna make it a full F sharp minor chord by just now doing a full bar across the second fret there. And then still the same notes here on the fourth fret on the A and the D. And then just, so that's when Bruce comes in with the vocals here, and just letting an F minor chord ring out. And then it does this, kind of like we did earlier, an A to E power chord. Let that E power chord ring a bit. And then we're back to the A power chord, taking us back to the F sharp power chord. So like this. All right, so not a lot going. So it's just first, that's just that strum, let that F minor ring out. So this is the first verse, by the way. The second verse, there's a little fill in there that we'll talk about that when we hit the second verse. So it's slightly different there. But then, nothing much going on there. And then we get the pre-chorus. We start picking things up a little bit here. The pre-chorus, the first time you hear it, it's only heard played once. Looks like this. All right, so now this little loud, it's not very loud in the mix, and Steve's not doing that on the bass, but you can hear it on the guitar. The guitar goes all the way up and slides up and hits that E. So that is on the recording. It's just like you don't hear this E power chord very loud in the mix. You got to really listen for it. So we're going to start here with this F sharp power chord here. So the rhythm's a little bit different, like 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we do the same rhythm here. So we're just making like kind of an inverted, this here, right here is like an E chord with a third of the bass. So we have this G sharp here at the fourth fret on the low E string with the seventh fret there on the A string. So same rhythm there. And then go up to the A power chord, so it's just like the F sharp power chord, but at the fifth fret. And then we're gonna come up here to the seventh fret, same thing. Now we're gonna do the first two hits of that rhythm there on the B power chord at the seventh fret. And then those last two hits were a bit closer together. It's going to be this 9th fret power chord slid into the 12th fret there on the power chord here. Now you can see them, like one guy played going up here and the other one going same thing. And then catching the open version of that A. So you can play it wherever you want, obviously, but one's at least doing it here, I know. So I've seen them do it both ways, but it's the same exact notes. So play it however way you want. So the whole thing here. All right, then we get to the chorus. Now, the first time you hear the chorus, it's played twice. Looks like this. All right, so that chorus is a little bit harder to play. It's got some little slide things, a little tricky. So we're gonna start here with just this F power chord first. F sharp power chord, sorry. And then take it down to the E. They kind of usually do it like this. They take these two fingers and just move it down to the 2nd fret of the A and the E and hit this open E string with it. And then we'll hit those top 2 strings. So. All right, now here, so good. So that right there is kind of, you go up and you hit this D power chord at the 5th fret of the A. So it's 5th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D. Quickly hit that, and then you're gonna do this whole. So it's kind of like you pick the chord, slide down to the 4th fret with just the index finger, and then slide back to the 5th fret. So that's a little tricky because you're having to keep this top note at the 7th fret. And there's a little bit kind of muted hits in between them there. So you basically do it 3 times. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna move up here now, this power chord shape to the 7th fret. So 7th on the A, 9th on the D. And here it's a normal slide. You're sliding both the same distance, so it's easier. You just pick this chord, slide down to the 5th fret, 5 and 7 and then back. So enjoy this. So you kind of hold that, and then there's a little slide down the low E string, and then you start over and do the same thing. All right, so after you've done that twice, that riff twice, you go back to this F sharp power chord, chug on that. So it's just a little transition back to the verse. So now we have the 2nd verse, which is pretty much the same as the first, except there's a little fill when you're letting that F sharp, that F sharp minor chord ring out. It looks like this. All right, so that you start with that same strum. And then what you're gonna do is as you're letting that ring, you're just gonna pick now from the high E string, B, G, and then you're gonna pick up the pinky and come over and grab this 5th fret on the B string. So that makes it a minor 7 chord is what it does. That ring, and then the same from there. All right, then we have the same pre-chorus now, but played twice instead of once. Same chorus that we did before, played twice. Then we get to the solo sections. All right, so now we're cranking. Now the difficulty level goes through the roof. All right, so now the rhythm is a little bit, it's a different riff than we've heard so far. Similar to what we've done so far, but before we do the first solo, which was played by Dave Murray, let me show you the rhythm here. So the rhythm looks like this. All right, so that's Dave Murray's part of the solo, then Adrian Smith comes in. Adrian Smith's solo is over the pre-chorus riff, so there's not gonna be anything to learn there. When I do this solo here in a second, I'm just gonna play them both together. So we're gonna basically, we start with just like that kind of, that slow gallop on the open E here. And that same A to E transition, and then to the F sharp power chord, that same slow gallop. Then the A to E again, and then gallop on the E a little bit. Then A to E, and then up to the F sharp. You kind of gallop on this a little bit longer. So this. And from there, Adrian's solo is over this, the pre-chorus. All right, so nothing new there. All right, so let me play through the actual solos themselves. So like I said, I'm gonna play through, this is actually two solos here. The first half's by Dave Murray, and then the second half of this solo I'm about to play is by Adrian Smith, but I'm kind of smush them together. So here we go. So fun stuff. So we're gonna start here with Dave's solo here with this first little. So that's gonna be kind of a big bend here at the 4th fret on the G string. So this, release that bend, and then you're gonna pick 4-2 on the G, 4-2 on the D, and 4-2 on the A. Then you're gonna pick this note again and pull off to the open A strings. Then grab that 2nd fret there on the low E. Add some vibratos with it. All right, so this next lick. So this is a quick little kind of signature legato-y type Dave Murray lick. So what he's going to do here is going to catch the first two notes, 14, 16 on the D. And then we have, you're going to now go over to the G string. We pick 13, hammer on 13, pull back off to 13. So hammer on 14, pull back off to 13. Then pick 13 again and hammer 14. And 16. He uses these fingers, by the way, so you can use your pinky to, if you like that. And we kind of do the same thing now over on the B string, 14th fret, hammer 15, pull back off to 14, then pick 14 again, and hammer 15, 17. So we have this. And then we go over here now to this 14th fret on the high E string, hammer 17, pull back off to 14, and then over to 17 on the B string. So you do that lick, you repeat that lick like 4 times or so. So we have this. And then you're going to end that 4th time when you get to that note on the B string. You go into a whole step bend. So from that whole step bend, we have this next lick. All right, so that whole step bend to the 17th fret. Then kind of slide from 17 to 19 on the B. And then play 17, 19 on the high E string. Kind of do a few bends there, the 19. Release, pull off to 17, back to 19, and then another bend and release. Pull off to 17, back to 19. And then we start this kind of series of little legatos, little trills that we take it down the scale and then goes into this little, really kind of a bluesy type ending. Looks like this. All right, so that trill is where we were at. It starts here between 17 and 19 on the high E string. And then between 16 and 17. Then 14 and 16. So. And then he goes down to does the trill between 14 and 17 on the B. And then 14 and 16 on the G. So it is. And from there, now we get bluesy. We have bend and release at the 16th fret there on the G. And then catch this double stop at the 14th fret across the G and the B. So maybe do those double stops. Feel free to kind of slightly bend them. Give them a little kick. So. And then it goes over to the 16th fret on the D string. From there we have this. So that's kind of a palm muted lick. So we play 16, 14 on the D string, 16, 15, 14, 16, 15, 14, low chromatic, blues scale actually. On the A string, over to the 17th fret on the low E, and then back to a hammer-on from 14 to 16 on the A. And then we have this. So that is the double stops at the 14th fret across the G and the B again. Over to 16 on the D, and then play the double stops at 14 on the G and the B. Kind of a bend and release the double stops at the 16th fret on the G and the B. Back to the double stops at the 14th fret. And then end it there at the 14th fret there on the 16th fret on the D. I keep doing that, don't I? So we have this. All right, so when you're playing that note, that's when Adrian Smith comes in with his solo. And that first phrase of that one looks like this. All right, that's fun. So we're gonna start here with this, some bends here at the 17th fret on the high E string. Whole step bend, release the bend, some vibrato, and then again. We're actually gonna lead into it. So that's a roll from the 14th fret on the B to the 14th fret on the high E string, and then back to that bend at the 17th fret. So we have this. So after that second time bending that and releasing that, and then we have this. So that is going to be pick 17, then I'm going to play 14, hammer 17, pull back off to 14, over to 17 on the B, back to 14 on the high E. And then you're going to bend up the note on the 17th fret on the B string, then play 14 on the high E again. So it is. Then pull off 17 to 14 on the B. So real slow. And then you're gonna come over to the G string. So that's a bend at the 16th fret. Pick it again, release. Pull off to 14, still on the G string. And then over to the 16th fret there on the D string. Then we have this cool little slide. So that is gonna be, play 14 on the G, slide down to 13, and then to 14 on the D. And then you get to pick 13 again, slide down to 11, over to 12 on the D. And then pick 11 on the G, slide down to 7, to 9 on the D. So it is. All right, from there we have this. Quick little phrase, this one's pretty easy. So slide into the 9th fret on the G, and then pick it again, and then. So that's just picking from the 9th on the G to the, 11th on the G to the 9th on the high E. So just picking from that high E to that G string. And then end it there on that G string. So. All right, then we have this last phrase, looks like this. All right, so that's so that's 14 on the high E string into a bend at the 17th fret on the B, so you want them to kind of sound like the same note. And then, so after, that's 14 on the high E string, then 17, 14 on the B, and then 17, 16, 14 on the G. And then we just kind of do like a, kind of a, just a trill thing. It's like, it's one of these things, it's not a very, when you're kind of doing this kind of playing, it's like, it's kind of legato type stuff. It's kind of, it's not really an exact science really. It's just kind of like you're taking this F sharp minor pentatonic scale and you're just kind of trilling all the way down it. And you can hear it kind of end on that note, really shake it hard, but it's really low in the mix. But that's about where he stops when he gets back to the chorus at that point. So you don't really hear that note too well, but it's, he's basically just taking these notes, so it's kind of trilling between 14 and 17 on the high E and the B. And then 14, 16 on the G, D, and the A. And then just kind of hold that 16th fret there at the end. So, all right, so then we're back to the chorus after the solo section. That chorus is played 4 times, so. The only thing is it's played slightly different. The 4th time, it doesn't hit that D, it goes. So it doesn't do all this, it's just really just detailed. You just play the parts where the slides are happening. So you'll be able to hear this. Things sound, they just kind of throw a quick little variation rhythmically. Well, it just sounds different, and that's what they're doing. You'll hear that the 4th time through, but it's pretty much played the same way. All right, and then we get to the harmony section. So this harmony section is over the pre-chorus. All right, so that same. All right, so how do you want to do this harmony section? Obviously, I can't play the full harmony here because I'm one dude, but there's basically, you can look at it as like, if you have 3 guitar players like they generally do, you can have, somebody doing that pre-chorus riff. And then what's happening with this harmony is we have this lower harmony, it looks like this. So we have that going. So when you first hear the harmony section, you hear that, and this one. and that with it. So that's the first kind of like main two harmonies that you're hearing there. So this lower one first. So that's sliding into that 11th fret on the G, and then play 10-9 on the B, then 11-9 on the G, and then start over. So they harmonize that with, so this is going on at the same time. So this one that's going on at the same time with the one I just did is that the bending at the 12th fret a couple times on the B string. And then you're gonna do a bend and release. Then play 10, and shift down to 9. Now that's how they play it. You can do it. So you don't have to shift it all, but they do a bend and then just jump down and grab that, both those notes with the index finger. Then when it sounds like all the harmonies go higher, what's happening is you're still hearing this. So that's still being played, but there's that's being harmonized on top of it with this. All right, so a way to do this, if you have two guitar players that you want to do this, you do those first two together. So one doing that, and the other one going. And then whoever's playing this one keeps playing this one. So it just plays that through the whole harmony section, that one. But the one who was playing the lower one will go up and grab the higher, while this one is still being played. All right, now from there, we get to the outro solo, which is we're back with Dave Murray playing this outro solo. It's still over the pre-chorus. It's gonna end here on the B, so you're kind of like, you're hearing this outro solo, dude. And then at the end of this outro solo, it's just that riff, that pre-chorus riff is gonna end on that B there, so just to let you know. So let me play through the solo for you real quick, and then I'll show you how to play it. So it looks like this. All right, so we're gonna start here with this kind of a. So that's just a bend at the 16th fret on the G string. And then just trying to tremolo pick it and slowly release that bend. And then there's like a quick little bend and release, pull off to 14 and back to 16 there at the end. So it's. All right, and then we just do another kind of, we're just kind of a legato-y thing down the F minor pentatonic again. So we're F sharp minor pentatonic. So what we're gonna do here, kind of trill real quick between 14 and 16 on G, and then 14 and 16 on the D. Then slide down quickly from 16 to 14 on the A. And a quick little trill there between 12 and 14. And then kind of pick 14 on the A, slide back to 16, and play 14 and 16 on the D. So just, So this little lick right here is kind of a combination of two licks that he's kind of randomly going back and forth between the two. So the main one is that, where he's going. which is kind of pulling off twice from the 17th fret to the 14th fret on the B string. And then, so 2 pull-offs there from 17 to 14, over to 16 on the G, and then back to 14 on the B. So that's kind of the main one he's going for, but you'll sometimes hear him go just straight through. He doesn't do a double pull off there, he just goes, so it goes. So sometimes it's just 1 pull off instead of 2. You can just think of that. You just kind of randomly go, there's no rhyme or reason to what he's doing. He's just kind of doing. I don't know if you can hear the difference between when I'm doing like 1 pull off or 2. It's fun like once you get up to speed. All right, so after you do that for 15 minutes, end it with a bend at the 17th fret there on the B string. And that's when we made it to that B there that's being held there. We stopped on the pre-chorus riff underneath it. So that's being all held there. And then we have the big rock intro. All right, and that's just that kind of trim up picking that F sharp power chord, and then we have that A power chord, B power chord, and the F sharp power chord to end it. And that is it for Flight of Icarus. It's a fun one to play. You got some cool solos in it, and rhythmically it's pretty easy to play too. So, well, it's easy to play. The solos aren't easy to play, but the rhythms are easy. So, if you've got 3 guitar players and 2 of them are far better than one of them, have that guy play the rhythms because he can probably handle it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for guitarlessons365.com.